Here we are, show 15. Show 15. I have my Christmas shirt on from Schitt's Creek, Rose Apothecary.
Oh, I love it. Wow.
And I gotta tell you, oh man, when I like a show, I gotta get all the merch. Gotta get all the merch. I'm sitting this way, obviously, so I can keep an eye on what's going on. It's a big day.
Yeah. I had no idea the apocalypse was happening because I was in the dentist. So
it's like a Turkish coup right now going on at the Capitol, and it's scary, and it's completely stressful.
It's a day for whiskey for sure. So
you know it. I'll tell you what. I've had these I guess they're new. They are Coca-Cola mixers, and they're made expressly for this whole mixology thing that's been taken over. So this one is an herbal one, and it's Coca-Cola signature mixer, and it's got notes of hops, dill seed, tages, and lemongrass. I don't even know what those things are, but it is so good. So I tasted a little of it on its own, and then I had to decide what would go with it. You know, like what did I want a flavored whiskey to go in it, or did I so I just went with plain old Jack.
Nice.
Plain old Jack. And I gotta tell you, it's really good.
You could never go wrong with Coca-Cola in anything. And then Jack Daniels, it's the perfect.
And believe it or not, you can taste every one of the things that's mentioned on the bottle. You can taste a hint of this weird dill. You can taste a hint of lemongrass. It does have a little bit of a hoppy aftertaste to it. But then it's got the blend, the Coca-Cola blend to it. So I'm impressed.
I love the bottle. The bottle is
cute, right?
Yeah, it's very vintage looking. It's really cool.
I have another one in there. This one is from batch number 3, and the other one that I have in there is a spicy one. And all I remember it saying was that there was a note of jalapeno in it. So I was like, I got enough going on in my gut right now over this whole day. So I'm not gonna go with spicy right now. I don't need the encouragement.
Well, in honor of Tyler being on the show today, he said he was a rum guy last time he was on the show.
Yes.
So tried this rum. It's from Barbados. It's called
Mount Gay. Mount Gay. We had that at the bar.
Yeah, this is like
that's a good one.
They're like, you know, top shelf, black barrel, Mount Gay. Anyway, that's what I have in my my bullet whiskey glass, which I'm sporting again.
Is that just straight up? You don't have anything with it?
Just rocks, just ice. Nice.
Yeah. All right, next week I'm doing rum too.
I had it with the other day with a little eggnog because I was in that mood.
Oh,
I don't
right.
my own eggnog, but it was very nice.
didn't want to get creative there, did you? I don't want to be cooking. I just want a little eggnog.
There are certain things you go out for.
Yeah.
Eggnog, potato salad. Like I never did potato salad. You go out for that.
That was one of the funniest conversations. I laughed so hard when you said that because I was like, I never thought about making my own eggnog. I guess I just thought it was so over processed, you know, that it was just like a bunch of chemically things to make eggnog in a carton, and you always just bought it.
Right.
And so we're having that conversation, and you go, yeah, I've always felt that way about potato salad. It's just not something you cook. It's something you go out and buy.
Yeah.
That was classic JD right there.
All those side dishes you go out for, but
the sides, yeah, you got to buy the sides. So we're in third lockdown over here.
Wow, there's another strain in England I read today.
Yeah, we've got the super spreader variant that's about 70% more transmissible.
Wow.
And it is, I am telling you, I can honestly tell you that I remember checking the numbers for the county that we're in, kind of, you know, like we get classified as part of London. the 5 boroughs around
Yeah.
London, kind of like New York.
Yeah.
But then you can break it down even further. So I was looking in the borough of Sutton, and a couple weeks ago, it was something like 3,000 cases. And I was like, well, that's not bad because that covers a really big area, like a really big area. I just
Yeah.
went back and looked at it yesterday, and it is at 9,000.
Oh,
9,000 cases.
wow.
So yeah, it's really taken off. It was, I think the first one was in Kent, which is kind of like on the eastern coast of England.
Mhm.
And it just like all of a sudden we were doing so good in the south. I remember telling you, it's
Mhm.
really it's up north. It's like Manchester, Liverpool. It's fucking everywhere now, and it's like it's taken over in the south. The NHS is stressed. Hospitals are limited on oxygen. The death number is just creeping up. I think we're at almost like 1,000 a day, whereas you guys are, I think, 3,700 a day. But it's a lot for us. I mean, you have 330 million people in the U.S. There's like 66 million here.
Know this all the stats, Denise. Like
Yeah, well, you have to know these things, Jay. You can't just turn a blind eye. So you gotta
Yeah.
know 'em. So it's been a little intense because I think that having been through the lockdown this summer, that was super severe, you know. And then they started like that tier system kind of thing. Well, there's a
Right.
lockdown. It's a lockdown, but you can take away food, and pubs can do takeaway beer, and I mean now we're back in that stage where like it's pretty much buttoned up. Like you can only be out for essential things, and everything's closed, and we're just back in that situation again. I don't know that anybody was really ready for it, because I think it was, it was a different kind of holiday, and all that whole
Right.
the vaccine rollouts. Obviously, like it's just not going smoothly.
I was just at the dentist and no cavities, but I thought I might have had a cavity because my teeth have been really super sensitive. And the doctor said they've been seeing a lot of what they call COVID cracks because people are so nervous. They're grinding their teeth at night. People have so much anxiety.
I
People already
believe that. I switched to sensitive toothpaste.
right. So they're grinding, and I'm like, you know what I noticed when I wake up? Sometimes I feel like I might have been grinding my teeth. So it's like a thing.
Yeah.
COVID teeth or COVID
Yep.
cracks.
COVID cracks. I like it.
They've had more cracked teeth since March, between March and December.
What a
Then
funny
they
thing that they're
stop
tabulating.
a whole year. Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah,
Well, on that note, I drink my sugary Coca-Cola drink.
right. I know me and my rum.
All right.
Yeah.
Are we ready for Tyler?
Yes.
Okay, let's bring in our boy. There he is.
How are you?
Super stressed. How are you?
Super stressed. Absolutely. Feeling the same.
Quite a day. Quite a day.
Yes, wildness going on right now.
It's like a Turkish coup over there, man.
I know it is quite wild seeing the pictures and they're like, oh wait, that's here, right?
It's really happening. It's not in Brazil. It's happening right on our doorstep. It's just
definitely
ridiculous.
definitely something to drink about.
I know. I just said to Jay, like, I couldn't wait to get a drink in me. Like, this is crazy. But I was telling her about these new Coca-Colas I found.
Yes, I saw those.
They're really cool, right? This
That
one's
is
an
neat.
herbal.
Okay.
And
Very
it's a line of signature mixtures. So the herbal one that I have has notes of hops, dill seed, and maybe you can explain to me what a tagette is.
I don't know what a tagette is. That's
okay,
interesting.
And lemongrass. But it does. It tastes super herbally. You can taste all those things. And I just mixed it with a little JD, and I do mean the drink. Jay loves rum because she's trying to impress you.
I in honor of you being on the show, I got Mount Gay. This is the Black Barrel. So you probably got rum for in honor of you being on the show today. I'm a rum person too. So
yes.
Yeah. It's very good.
Go ahead.
Very tasty.
Yes. No, I do like the Mount Gay products. The Barbados rum is a really nice, like, middle of the run from the flavor profile. It's got everything that rum has going on in it, but there's not usually something that just like skyrockets out. You don't get too funky, too sweet. It's just a really, really good, just like sit down and have your glass.
I remember that being a big seller at the pub. Like people are on to the Mount Gay over here.
Mhm.
And
What is,
Appleton was the other one.
what is the black barrel? Does that mean it's in a special type of wood barrel?
So I don't know that particular one. One of the things with rum is there's really no stipulation on rum or naming conventions, except for the fact that it is from the product of sugarcane. So it could mean 1,000 different things. A lot of times it didn't look like a blackstrap, but blackstrap rums, which are going to be your darker ones and usually have that kind of like the black namakur attached to them, are usually going to have a little bit of extra molasses thrown in there to kind of sweeten them and thicken them up. But I'm not familiar with the black bottle. I will do some, or black barrel bottle. Ooh, that's a fun one.
Wow.
Some research there.
Something like a little alliteration.
Yes.
So you're so knowledgeable about all of these details about everything. I'm very impressed. We always learn something when you're on the show, we said.
Good.
No, I mean, like you got to have someone on that knows their shit, and you know your shit.
Yeah.
Tyler.
Thank you. It comes from a lot of conversations, a lot of very, very good professionals that I work with, and then reading, constantly reading. I just finished, I'm talking about the rum, I just finished And a Bottle of Rum, and I forget the gentleman who wrote the book, but it's a very good just anthology of rum and its history paralleled with the history of the New World next to it, kind of what was going on at the times and how the drinking and everything affected that from a rum only standpoint. So it's a really cool book.
Oh, wow. Well, I am excited on what you have 2021 drink.
Yes.
I know your Instagram post was intriguing. I was like making it bigger so I could see what everything was, trying to figure it out.
Absolutely. I was very thrilled for this opportunity. And again, New Year's, I cannot break the cliche. I know that it's all this. I wanted to make kind of a champagne cocktail, something that was sparkling and all of that. And I was talking with some friends of mine at the bar, and I'll get a little bit more into the story, but a lot of things fell together for a really interesting take on a new classic, I believe, quote, because a couple things have been debunked. But I did want to share, I'm drinking something a little different for me right now. I am drinking the Glenmorangie 10. It's a Scotch. That's an area of my knowledge that definitely a gap. And the only way to really fix your knowledge when it comes to alcohol is to drink through a bunch of it. So I finished some good Speyside Scotches, made it through the Balvenie line, and then I was trying to figure out what to do next.
Yes.
Yes.
Christmas. I did. I got a couple of cool whiskeys for Christmas. I'm too nervous to drink them on their own. They're so strong, you know?
Yes.
I gotta get better at that.
And that's always fun. And I don't feel bad because I'll get a whole bottle and I'll drink it neat and with a little bit of water and with a little bit of ice and then with a little bit of citrus and with the whole bottle. I know that some, when you're drinking an expensive or nice or aged Scotch, people will be, but then I mix it a little bit and see what it does because I have the whole bottle. And
yeah. So when you
fun.
say citrus, what, like, do you go wild or do you try a lime one time or orange another time or a lemon another time?
So yeah, so generally with a whiskey, I would start with either grapefruit or lemon. It just kind of marries with the flavors a little bit better. You get a very like kind of bitter astringent taste from your lime that doesn't always marry well with whiskey. You could make it work. And then orange with the sugar content really mixes pretty well with just about everything.
Yeah, I thought so. That's cool.
And I just like to kind of just see how it grows and develops, and then I'll throw some different bitters in there and just figure out, can I do anything with this? And a lot of times with the higher end stuff, it's you drink it by itself because it's really good and has nuanced flavors that you don't want to destroy.
Right, okay.
But it's definitely a fun creative process.
I might be a destroyer.
Yes. On that note, on the other end, so going from Scotch and finishing some nicer Balvenis recently, for this cocktail, I wanted to do a champagne cocktail. I wanted to do something that kind of had interest and isn't something that a lot of people tend to drink and do a kind of spin off of that. So I'm starting with a drink called the Seelbach, which is a cocktail that includes sparkling wine from the Seelbach Hotel in Louisville, Kentucky. And there's a whole history behind it that the bartender in the 90s found this written recipe from behind the bar, and it was from pre-prohibition era, and made the cocktail and really liked it, put it on. And it was just a perfect example of bartender marketing,
Wow.
That wasn't for
Yeah.
you.
No, that's
Cat
fine.
was gonna stick her head in front of the
No,
camera.
that's cool. So it was all made up. He made the cocktail, wanted to put the hotel more on the map and himself on the map. And it's a beautiful story and it's worth telling. And I would tell everybody that it was what happened, because drinking is about the story. We've talked about that before. It doesn't always have to be true. It has to be fun. So
Right.
yes. So what you do with this Seal Bock, it's just kind of a whiskey cocktail. It's whiskey, a little bit of triple sec, which is going to be kind of an orange liqueur going through there, sparkling wine, and then some bitters. So we're just going to go through a pretty simple build of this one. And
Is this going to be considered a cocktail?
this is a cocktail.
It's a champagne. I love champagne
Yes.
cocktail.
Yes, so this is going to be a cocktail, but it will be in your traditional
Flute.
or less traditional champagne flute. We can get into a lot of that. The traditional champagne glass is a coupe. The flute was made to hold the bubbles for longer as kind of newer markets opened up. So we're going to start there.
So delicate. They're
Yes.
so delicate, honestly.
Even knows the reason behind the flute glass. I'm very impressed.
It is.
I thought the reason was for when the Karens came in after work for Prosecco.
Yes. No. It also gives you the image that you're getting a lot more. It's a bigger one. It looks like it's more full. Looks like your volume's higher, but it does. It keeps the bubbles nice and tight so that you can enjoy it a little longer and it doesn't go flat.
All right,
so you
nice.
get that nice Frizzante flavor or texture, which again, American palates really like. We like our sodas. We like everything kind of fizzy and that kind of mouthfeel. So it helps kind of keep that longer. The base. I'm going with something that most people would consider bottom of the barrel or very well or anything like that. We're going with the Benchmark Old Number 8. The fun fact about Benchmark is technically the exact same thing as an E.H. Taylor or even a George T. Stagg. So they are the exact same whiskey. It's about when you take it out. So Old Benchmark is pulled at exactly just about 4 years where it's allowed to be called a bourbon versus Buffalo Trace, which goes a couple more years versus as you go up the line, the amount of aging and mellowing that goes on. But it is the Buffalo Trace mash bill number 1. And that mash bill goes into all of these. Now there is some changes with where they put it in the rick house, how they age it, all of that stuff. But basically this for $11.50 a fifth locally is the same whiskey base as you get for your Buffalo Traces or again your Colonel E.H. Taylors, some of these other very, very high end. Now there's a huge difference in that mellowing process. This is going to be hot, but it's still going to have those kind of nice round bourbon notes. It's still a very, very good bourbon. And specifically when you're mixing strong flavors, there's nothing wrong with this bourbon. It's not, rot gut or anything like that. It's a very good use. It's just, it's going to be sharp. It's going to be a little unaged, a little unmellowed.
I like the description hot. I like that.
Yes, and I felt like for a year like 2020, what a good way to celebrate a new one than something that was of quality, but just not quite where it needed to be.
Excellent.
A bit of a bite.
Just a bit of a kick for you.
You have a hot bite.
Starts off well and then catches up on the back end. So we're just going to go with about 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces of that, so 1.75 if we're going to be nerdy about it. And that's my base. Added into that, I'm going to use, instead of triple sec, because I just like to do things different, and kind of something that I learned about this year is it's called Arbor Distilling Company, and they're a little distilling company out of Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is where University of Michigan is. And I've heard some really cool stories about their distiller. I have a friend who's frequented in there, and they're up and coming and they're making products and starting to distribute, but they're a little smaller, and they do liqueurs. And this is a blackberry liqueur that they did that I really, really enjoy. And again, they try to source everything they can from Michigan, from local farms and all of that, or regional farms. Local is a troublesome term sometimes, but and really make some really awesome spirits and liqueurs. They do a seasonal gin that's really cool. Love it. And it changes from season to season to season. Absolutely phenomenal. Make 16 different types of gin and tonic, and they all taste different and amazing. So I'm just going to go ahead, and for that this is going to provide depth of flavor as well as sweetness. Being a liqueur, it's I'm going to go ahead and just use 3/4 ounce of that.
So we're going. That was a bourbon base.
Yep.
And a blackberry liqueur.
Blackberry liqueur.
Like if you just talk about those two things, you're not quite sure they're gonna work.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And that's where we're going because it keeps going. Now, to kind of tie it directly into more of that kind of seal bock, which is usually bourbon, triple sec, some bitters. I am going to use my favorite Angostura bitters. They just do awesome things. Gotta love it. I use it in everything I can. A huge influence in tiki culture, just great bitter in general, and very reminiscent whenever you read kind of like house bitters or anything like that in a lot of old cocktail manuals. This is something very close to what they would be making. So you're going to go ahead and do
see in the little yellow cap.
Yes, yeah. So about 3 dashes of that. Again, there's a lot going on here with flavor, so it can really handle that kind of depth. And then Peychauds Bitters, which are going to be another classic bitter out of New Orleans. And again, a little bit of star anise, just kind of where Angostura is really just strong, potent baking spice, like bam, like it can just straight up fight with whiskey and win. This is going to be it adds some color, which is always nice. You're not going to see it with the Blackberry here, but really aromatic, lighter notes. You kind of catch it on the front end versus the back. So using the two of them together in cocktails creates a really nice bitter balance.
Cool. Okay.
So again, 4 dashes of Peychauds. And then we're going to stir that. So it's in a little mug or a little mixing tin that has ice. I'm going to stir. And with stirring, you just want to kind of push and pull, keeping the back of that spoon against the glass. Takes a little bit of time to get the practice, but you don't want to like whip it or do anything crazy. And it's not a lot of effort. You don't want to be anything crazy like that. You want to let the spoon do the work. You want to let it move the ice around. Again, you're trying to preserve that texture. You're going to get a nice kind of syrupy, silky texture when you stir. Versus if you kind of shake or if you stir too fast, you'll get a lot of bubbles and stuff in there. So just trying to chill it without over mixing everything. Just get it nice and kind of homogeneous.
I always thought that was for if you were stirring something with bubbles, but that's for all the time.
Always.
Always. Okay.
Yes. And you want to get it to where there's a good chill. I kind of cheated there because I'm drinking this. So instead of feeling the glass, I did my little taste to see where I was at from temperature and dilution. But we're just going to strain that into.
Ooh, look at that color.
Our champagne glass.
Oh.
Love the color.
Absolutely. It's already gorgeous.
That's like a wicked indigo right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like
no, it's gorgeous.
Burgundy. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's got a nice, like, same kind of, a little plum element to it, but it's got a good color to it,
Gorgeous.
Good opaqueness to it. It's a really fun one. Then I'm going to add in my sparkling element, which here I'm going to use Scarpetta Frico Frizzante. Scarpetta is a company that was founded by American sommeliers who wanted to make old world wine, Italy, in the New World style for a New World palate. So they're going to be a little lighter, a little brighter, get a lot of those kind of fruit notes that you really like on the American palate. And they made it for the American palate, but they made it in the old world, using the old world grapes. So you do get that depth. You do get a lot of that kind of like complexity, but they really did it in a style that highlights some of the brightness, fruitiness and fruitishness that you kind of like in the American palate. So this is just going to be their Frizzante. So just a white wine that's bubbled. And we are, oh no, I'm robbing you of these beautiful, beautiful visuals here.
There we go.
I'm just going to go ahead and pour.
Nice.
Bubble a little bit because
Nice.
it's a Frizzante.
Yeah.
And I like these little cans because what I'm about to do is I'm going to first present you the playing in the pocket.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to do so many things going on here. And as a bassist and stuff, there's this element where you kind of want everything to fit together. And it's really called getting in the pocket when you've got your rhythm section. They might not all be on beat together at the same exact time, but they feel each other. They're working around each other. And even though you've got complex stuff, like when you're locked in with a drummer, you know.
You're right. Right.
When you're not playing than when you are and all of that. So when I was thinking about building this cocktail, I was thinking about things, Benchmark, which most people would consider to just be, palatable. Taking a really unique kind of small distilleries, like specialty product with the liqueur. Take a classic cocktail that isn't even a classic cocktail. They made it recently and said it was a classic and got it put into a bunch of books as a classic and everything, with a little bit of like New World, Old World mixed wine. I thought it was just one of the things where everything's just like, as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, this can work. And then it did. and I was very, very pleased with it, and I'm very, very pleased to present it. And what I love about the little cans
Wow. Well,
is, cheers, cheers.
Cheers,
Wow.
cheers.
I will show you the trick with the cans.
So have you tried this at your bar? Is this the first time you're making this, or have you made this for the people at your bar?
So I have made this specifically for this. So I will share a secret. Every cocktail I've done so far has been made for this podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you.
So thank you for providing me another creative outlet. This has been obviously beta tested with my bar staff and some of the regulars of mine. But this was made with this in mind, and for this. So
it's such a pretty drink. Like it really is such a pretty drink. It's like,
and I think you can kind of see, maybe, I don't know how good my camera is, but there's the light bubbles coming up.
yeah,
It's
Real small.
yeah,
And it just adds that nice kind of like.
it is so perfect for a flute glass cocktail. Like the color of the bubbles, it's really that's amazing. And I like the fact that it's got some hard booze in it,
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
not dainty
It's got that-
Bellini, it's not.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
And it's
That's
not just
what
bourbon.
I love about the champagne cocktail is when we would go on a cruise, like that was my favorite bar, the champagne bar, because the champagne cocktail bar, because they would take like hard booze and liquors and put them in the champagne,
Mhm.
and then bubbles in the champagne. I don't know if I'm right about this, Tyler. You can let me know. You can correct me if I'm wrong. It kind of makes you feel that alcohol goes like, to your head a little quicker
Mhm.
when it's mixed with the bubbles. So I always enjoyed the cocktail bar before going into dinner, because then you need to eat a little something when you've had 3 or 4.
You gotta
Absolutely.
leveling off, exactly.
Right. Right.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so excited that you did that, because I always want to make a champagne cocktail and I never know what's put in it. So
Whatever.
Yeah. I was
so-
watching the Graham Norton show the other day, and I can't remember who it was like an American actress that was on with him. I think it was Amanda Seyfried, and she was saying that no, that wasn't her. Maybe it was, I don't know. But one of them, they were talking about their favorite drink, especially for New Year's, is vodka and champagne. I was like, wow, okay. Ooh, that's wow. I mean, maybe if it was a flavored vodka,
Mhm.
but yeah. Did you go out for New Year's? Did you drink on New Year's? Did you have a special drink for New Year's?
So for New Year's, I ended up working New Year's.
Me too.
So at the bar.
In my
So worked New Year's, had a beautiful crowd. Again, Memphis is we had to close down at 10. So was able to get out right at 10. And then my girlfriend works in restaurants. So I was able to go over, and she's a manager, so she had to do inventory because it's the first, and money is money. So I for New Year's I participated in inventory, in a liquor inventory at her restaurant and bar. But we did I brought a nice little bottle of wine, and we had something to toast with, and then we finished it when we got home. So we were laughing. It was the first New Year's that we actually spent midnight with each other, in probably 4 years now.
Wow.
Because you're probably always working, right?
Because she's always working and all of that, or it just doesn't time out right or whatever. So it was fun to actually at midnight. We were actually together this time, so that was a New Year's for us. It was very fun.
I love that you helped her with the inventory. You're not only an engineer, a mixologist, an acrobat. You also a boyfriend. You're a romantic. I love that. And a bass player. Like so many things, Tyler. Like
multifaceted, man.
Yeah. Truly a Renaissance artiste, I may say.
Wow. He's got a title. I swear. I put together, well, I shouldn't say but we unexpectedly got an email that our new bed frames were arriving on New Year's Eve day. Um, they were supposed to be coming on the 9th, but what are you going to say? No, no, don't.
Yeah.
So, so because of the situation, our house is small and stuff, and we had to, there was no way to have two beds. Like, there was no way to have four beds, I should say. So we had to break down our old beds, which were
Ooh.
the kind that you can lift up in their storage. So we had to find a
Mhm.
place for everything.
Yeah.
Break down those beds, get those outside, and then the new frames arrived, and we had to put those together, and kind of like get them set
Mhm.
up. And that literally, we started doing things at 11 a.m. and finished at 11 p.m.
Oh,
So we had
wow.
an hour to watch Alicia Keys
Mhm.
live and alone at Royal Albert Hall, and do a little concert. And then, like at midnight, they did all the fireworks and drones and music and everything in London. And then that was it. It was like, okay, let's go to bed on our new beds and hope they're
Yep.
sturdy and work.
Yeah.
So it was almost like any other day.
Yeah. That's wild.
We had a new mattress for the stroke of midnight.
Right. Yeah. So it was a good sleep.
Yeah.
Like, how much fun did you have on New Year's? Good fun.
Oh, it was great.
It was a good sleep. So
I worked for this sleep.
yeah, after all that work, it was like, wow, we can't even really take these for a test drive. It's literally sleeping.
Going to bed.
Yeah. So yeah, it felt like it was just another day, and then the next day was New Year's Day, and that felt weird because the day before didn't feel like New Year's Eve.
Mhm.
Right,
And
right.
I've literally been lost ever since. I don't know.
Mhm.
Like I know I tweeted something like, apparently it's Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't dawning on me what day of the week it was. Everything is weird right now, and the lockdown
Yes.
thing happened like that Friday or whatever. So it was just, yeah, I can't wrap my head around this being 2021 just yet.
Exactly. Well, that's people keep coming up to me, and I realize I haven't seen them since, to me it was a Thursday. It was just
Yeah,
Thursday.
it's
And they're
Thursday.
like, "Oh, Happy New Year." I'm like, "Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? It is a new year. Happy New Year." Like that whole process every time. And it's like, I'm going to catch somebody. I'm going to get somebody before they get me one of these times and tell them Happy New Year first. But right now I'm just like, huh?
Right. I feel that way like on Thanksgiving because they don't celebrate it over here. So I start off going, ha ha, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. It's just a Thursday.
Yep.
Like, yeah, and I have to scroll through everybody's pictures of their meals and their parties and everything, and it's just like I'm eating hot dogs.
That's awesome.
It's not good. It's not good. So that, yeah, Jay, you guys actually had like a legit New Year's party, your family, right?
We did. Joni asked me to bring my guitar, which I never think to do, right? So I have an amp that you can put a mic through also. It's an acoustic amp.
Yes.
You'll appreciate this, Tyler. You can use an electric guitar or an acoustic guitar, and you can put a mic through it. It's like a boutique amp. It's called a quilter. And so I brought that, and I played music. I was the life of the party, and I'm usually,
As always.
Well done.
But I was the life of that party, and Jack sang, and it was funny because at first my mom and my sister are like, "Don't be too loud. The neighbors, they see the amp." As soon as Jack got up to sing, it was okay that the mic was, cranked up.
You can be loud.
So then we did. We had karaoke on the TV for the stuff I don't play, and the mic was still there. So yeah, it ended up being fun.
It looked like a really good time. Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
Also, for all of our listeners who aren't watching the YouTube stream of this, JD is decked out like a full rock star right now, talking about, "Oh, I was the life of the party, and I'm usually not." She's got her sunglasses on to record a podcast. She is just like full on about ready to pick up her guitar.
Tyler, you can only see what goes on before though, because she has to do the fluffing of the hair, the checking of the lighting. Like it's all.
She sees me angle, but thank you, Tyler. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for that shout out to my blue glasses.
And Tyler, I'm just
Absolutely.
gonna let you know I'm wearing pajama pants, and
Perfect.
I slept in the shirt that's underneath this.
Nice. That's good. At least
summer all the
somebody's
way.
wearing pants here, so that's
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, you guys, this has been a blast, man. I'm super excited. This has been, I can't wait to get this up and let everybody maybe have a glimmer of hope and happiness
For sure.
after what's
Absolutely.
happening today. So I just got the timed out thing. So we must wrap. But once again, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Tyler.
so much. Thank you for letting me participate in the lounge yet again. It is still my favorite hangout of 2020 and so far of 2021. So it's starting out strong.
We're in the
You're
we're in the lead.
First guest of 2021.
That's
And
right.
Ooh,
That's right. And we maybe we get you back for like Valentine's. Yeah, like the first week of February.
ooh,
We'll come up with
ooh,
a
that'll be fun.
yeah.
yeah,
Excellent.
Oh,
Hey,
I'm already gonna have to like start reading and taking notes. You got me excited all over again.
it's a date, man. It's a date.
I love it.
All
Okay.
right, you guys.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure as always. I look forward to seeing you next time at the lounge.
Thanks,